Alright, so we're going to start off first looking at mint marks on pennies. If you're not too familiar with coins, it's very simple. The mint mark is located directly underneath the date there on the obverse or the front of the penny. And all the pennies that were actually produced in Philadelphia never had a mint mark until this year. So here is the 2017 penny. You can clearly see that P mint mark underneath the date. From what I read, 2017 is the only year that they will put the P mint mark on the penny. So very cool that they did that this year. So if you have a Lincoln cent with no mint mark, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's valuable. It just means that the coin was produced in Philadelphia, except for if you got a case like this. Now this is the 1922 Denver minted Lincoln cent. Now in 1922 they only produced pennies at the Denver Mint, so all the pennies should have a D mint mark on it. However, this penny does not, and that will make that coin valuable if you do come across a 1922 no mint mark penny. So watch out for that. I actually did a whole video on the 1922. Make sure you go back to my playlist on my channel and go to Pennies Worth Money playlist, and you will be able to find that video there. Alright, next up is the 1990 penny, guys. A lot of people get confused on this. I get a lot of questions. I actually did a whole video on this coin as well. This is a 1990 proof penny versus a 1990 business strike. The business strike are just regular 1990 pennies that you would typically find in your pocket change that are only worth face value, so they're only worth 1 cent. However, there is a 1990 proof, and all the proofs are supposed to have an S mint mark on them because they were produced in San Francisco. So basically, if you have a 1990 proof set, you definitely want to look on the penny and see if it has that S mint mark, because it should. If it doesn't, then it will definitely be much more valuable. Now, a lot of people say, well, how can you tell the difference between a business strike and a proof coin? Well, you can see clearly in this picture, the proof is definitely more detailed, and it has a very glossy, shiny-like finish on the coin. You would definitely be able to tell in person if you see a proof penny versus a regular penny as well. It would definitely stand out amongst the rest of them. Alright, so just to cover the Indian head penny, just to show you guys where the mint mark is on this real quick, it is actually on the back or the reverse of the coin, and it's only on the 1908 and 1909 San Francisco minted Indian head pennies. So that is where that mint mark is located. Let's move on to the nickels. Alright, so the Jefferson nickels are a little bit tricky with the mint marks because they did change where they placed the mint marks during different years. So from 1938 to 1942 and 1946 to 1964, they put the mint mark to the right of the Monticello on the back of the coin. So if you look to the right of that building, you can see that D mint mark there. That's where it's going to be on those dates. You feel free to screenshot this, that way you have the image and you know the dates on that. Next up is the Jefferson nickels, the wartime silver nickels. From 1942 to 1945, they had a large mint mark above the Monticello on the reverse or the back of the coin. You see that above the building there is that big S mint mark there, meaning that that coin was produced in San Francisco. And just another thing to watch out for, in 1942 they produced silver nickels and non-silver nickels, so be careful with that. I actually have videos on that as well, which coins are silver, which ones are not. Be sure to go check out my playlist on silver coins. And in 1968 to 2004, they began putting the mint mark on the front of the coin right there beneath the date. So you look at the 1968 there, and you can see that D mint mark clearly right underneath there, and that is where the mint mark is on those. But starting in 2005, there was a redesign of the Jefferson nickel, and basically they just kept the mint mark on the front of the coin below the word Liberty. Now for the Buffalo nickel, for those of you who are not too familiar with older coins, the mint mark will be on the back of the coin underneath the word 5 cents at the very bottom of the coin. You can see that D mint mark underneath the C in the word cents. Alright, so moving on to mint marks on dimes. There are some valuable dimes out there without mint marks, and we'll start off first here with the Roosevelt dime. So from 1946 to 1964, the mint mark was placed on the back of the coin to the left of the bottom of the torch. You can see that D mint mark if you look at the bottom of the torch to the left, and those are the silver Roosevelt dimes. Now starting in 1968 to the present time, to date, the mint mark is on the front of the coin above the date. You see that 1970 there, and then the D mint mark above that. So with that said, we have a 1982 here that is supposed to have a P mint mark. However, it does not have a mint mark, and that makes it extremely valuable. Now, this 1982 no P mint mark coin sold for over $2,100. Here's just an example of another 1982 no P dime that is not in very good condition, so it didn't sell for as much, but it still sold for over $60. So if you ever find a 1982 no P mint mark in your pocket change, make sure you take that thing out, put it in the case, send it off to grading, and you can make a few bucks. Alright, so just to cover real quickly where the mint mark is on the Mercury dime, it is on the back of it, on the reverse of the coin, down at the bottom to the left of the torch. You can see it circled there. Also for the Barber dime, it is below the reef on the reverse. You can see that at the bottom of the coin. It is a O mint mark, meaning that it was produced in New Orleans. Now, I'm going to show you in a minute what these mint marks actually mean, the D, the P, the S, the O, the CC, and show you guys where these mint marks actually come from. Alright, next up is the Washington quarters. So from 1932 to 1964, the silver Washington quarters, the mint mark was on the back of the quarter, down at the bottom above the E and the R in the word quarter, and in between that and the reef there. But starting in 1968, including the statehood quarters, they put the mint mark on the front of the coin to the right of Washington's ponytail. Alright, so moving on to the Kennedy half dollar, only in 1964 did they put the mint mark to the left of the olive branch on the reverse. So if you look there at the eagle's left leg sticking out and look right below it, you can see that D mint mark. However, starting in 1968, they put the mint mark above the date. So in between the 9 and the 6 there, if you look up right below Kennedy, you will be able to see that D mint mark there. And just to give you a little information where the mint marks are on other half dollars, such as this one, the Walking Liberty half dollar from 1916 to 1917, the mint mark was placed below the phrase "In God We Trust" on the obverse or the front of the coin. However, from 1917 to 1947, they placed the mint mark to the left of half dollar on the reverse or the back of the coin. For the Franklin half dollar, they placed the mint mark above the Liberty Bell and below the E and the word States on the back of the coin. Now, here is what the mint marks actually mean. A C mint mark is only on the gold coins from 1838 to 1861, and that means that it was produced in Charlotte. I'm not going to read through all these because you guys can screenshot this if you actually want to keep this information. CC means it was from Carson City. A D mint mark only on the gold coins meant it was produced in Georgia. All the rest of the D mint marks means that it was produced in Denver. The O mint mark means that it was produced in New Orleans, and P means that it was produced in Philadelphia. However, a lot of Philadelphia minted coins did not bear the P mint mark. They just did not put a P mint mark on them at all. And for the S mint mark, it means that it was produced in San Francisco, and the W mint mark means that it was produced at the West Point Mint. Just another quick coin to cover. This is the 3-cent piece, and only in 1851 did they have a mint mark, and it had a O mint mark, meaning that this coin was produced in New Orleans, and you can see that circled in the image displayed. Now, here are just a bunch of coins that have no mint marks at all. Again, you can screenshot this: the half-cent, large cent, flying eagle cent, 2-cent piece, 3-cent nickel, shield nickel, all that good stuff. And here's an image of all those coins. If you never want to miss out on a live stream, all you guys got to do is click that bell. It will send a notification directly to your device and let you guys know when I'm live. Until then, this is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.